All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Tatiana, and I'm a contributor here at SOHH. And today we have a special guest. We have celebrity trainer and hip hop artist Dribble2Much. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, everyone. Appreciate you guys having me.
We're excited to have you. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. It feels like a great day today. Another day as an entrepreneur and trying
Love
to
it.
figure it out like everybody else.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
I love the honesty. um, okay, so I wanted to talk first a little bit about your name. So, did your name come as you being a trainer, the basketball trainer, or Dribble2Much came as a hip hop artist?
Well, it came from being a basketball trainer first. Um, I was training a bunch of kids in Oklahoma when I first started, and I was trying to figure it out. And the kids would record me on their video on their camera phones and record all of my drills and stuff like that. And they were going viral on their accounts from my content. And they would say, "Hey, everybody, hey coach, everybody's trying to ask who's my trainer or who is this guy teaching me all these dribble moves." Then I went. He's like, "You need to make an Instagram account so they could contact you." Then I went and looked at his page, and it was all dribbling. And I was like, "Man, I dribble way too much. It's all dribbling." And then I was like, "All right, I'll make it easy for them to contact me." And I came up with the name Dribble2Much.
Yes, I love that. That's such an interesting story.
Yeah,
Um, and I like that it has like an actual meaning. It wasn't like it just like it makes sense, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so how did you make that transition from basketball trainer to hip hop artist? Like, can you talk about?
Well, I was always talented in making music about everything. I used to do like mixtapes on other artists' instrumentals and beats, and I would remix it and make a song and make it about basketball. And I started using those remixes and putting it behind my training content on social media because I built a community of all kids and people who wanted to learn dribbling skills from me. So when I built that community, I also provided the music behind the content, and a lot of different artists, different celebrities, and people started paying attention to my music, hearing it behind the content. And I would have a lot of comments like, "Who is that rapping?" or "Who is that song? Where is that? Where can I find that? How can I download that?" And it worked so well for me that even NBA 2K started asking, "Hey, we need music for our content. How can we get some more music from you?" And I just started making music for the brand, really, just for the business. And then I end up like just gaining a lot of attention from it and started making original music, and that's how like I kind of started the artist entrepreneur route.
That's pretty dope. Just the intersectionality of that. Like you're essentially like a multi hyphenate.
Yeah,
It's cool.
it's interesting because like I feel like nowadays is when people like this are starting to get accepted that you're good at multiple things. Back in the day, it's like you only could be good at doing one thing. And coming from like an all equal situation with women, it's the same thing. Like women can't be a basketball coach, or you can't be an entrepreneur or a billionaire. Like people kind of box you in, especially as a basketball player coming up with music, because the history of it. Every ball player want to be a rapper, every rapper want to be a ball player. So that stigma and that kind of like the narrative behind the music and the basketball, it was something that I noticed, and I knew I was good at music. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna make the music just as good as any other artist, but I'm gonna talk about basketball, and I'm not gonna cuss in my music, and I'm gonna make it just as cool. And they try to paint me with that yeah, oh, it's another baller trying to rap. But then when they hear the music, they just start to like more like it more so than criticize, like, "Oh, this actually fire, but he's a basketball player." And I feel like we're now in a new world where it's accepted if you can do multiple things. It's almost normal. If you only can do one thing, it's like, oh, all right. But as soon as
Mhm.
get somebody who's strong in several different areas, that person might get the job before you. Now,
Right.
that's how it is now. So it kind of works to my advantage.
Right. I love that. And how would you describe your sound?
I would say my sound is like melodic. I'm multi-dimensional. Like I can do several different types of music and sounds. Um, I would say it's more melodic, and also like I'm good at storytelling and expressing my feelings on how I feel about the game, how I feel about my life personally, and I know how to put it all together and make it melodic where you know a little kid start bopping like my son's 3 years old, and that's how I know if my songs are hitting or not. He starts bopping to it and then singing the words, and if the words are easy for him to remember. And I think about little kids, all they do is listen to melodies all day, so they can tell when the melody's off because their whole first 5 years of their life, they Coco Melon, that's a melody,
Mhm.
Blippy, that's a melody like that comes on, and that's how they get their attention. And as I do my research and study the game when it comes to music, melodies is the key to getting attention to
Mhm.
people. It's like, how is the song flowing, how the melody make you feel, how the vibe make you feel, and learning all those things just help me as an artist like gain more of an audience.
Mhm.
So I
So
would
you
say I'm
meant
melodic.
melodic. Okay, so you mentioned you asked your 3-year old for approval, which I love. That's so cute. And sort of like kids sort of picking up on the melodies. Is your music more like, would you say it's kind of like educational? Is it more conscious? Because you also said that you don't curse.
Yeah,
'Cause you seem
yeah, I
very
would.
conscientious about like your approach.
um my my approach of the not cursing is I think of myself as being like a mentor to not only kids but professional athletes, and I'm really good at marketing and branding. So coming from the background of Nike and working at retail with Nike, I learned a lot of things in just the training part of becoming like a retail salesman to sell shoes. And I just paid attention to the marketing and how they had everything intertwining with one common goal, just to buy a sneaker. And I look at my music like as part of the marketing to be able to communicate to the athlete of what they need to be preparing for when it comes to basketball. Because a lot of kids, and I imagine myself a kid in the backseat of his, when I'm writing music, I imagine a kid in the backseat of his car getting dropped off by his mom to a basketball game, and my voice is in the radio blasting. So as a parent, what does that parent want to hear? Like, I'm this mentor coach that helps them with their basketball skills and their dreams and their goals. And I have to I have to be a role model for these younger athletes and even these NBA guys. And I just think about that parent driving to the basketball game. What is that parent listening to? What am I talking about? Am I talking about killing, murder? Am I talking about women? Am I talking about money? And I'm like, who would want to drop their kid off to basketball practice with that coach? So,
Mm.
I purposely try to keep it positive and still make it have a bounce where, the kid could knock it and there is nothing that the parent could do about it. They listening to it, and the parents usually contact me first. Like, my son loves your album. Man, they know every single word to your songs. Like, this is great. I can play this, with no worries and just like play the whole album through. I know that like that you're not telling them nothing negative. Some parents don't care, but when you do have that positive kind of like input, you don't mind that part either, for them to be doing something good. So my music is just like intentionally built for the audience of a kid getting dropped off to basketball practice, or kids listening to my songs in the locker room preparing before the game. So even the songs and the words is more like a self-conscious thing where I need to do a sports science behind this if a kid listens to my album versus listening to any other rap album that's not talking about the game, does that make them perform better? So that's kind of like what I'm tapping in is like psychology of what are you listening to and putting in your mind before the game to get you mentally prepared to compete at a high level.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's something. I've never heard anything like that. And how are you able to amass 1.3 million Instagram followers, right?
Yeah.
How are you able to amass that many?
And it's all about trends, at the time the game was changing in the game of basketball, where it started getting trendy to be able to have dribbling skills to play the game. And it don't matter how tall you were. You could be a 6-foot point guard dribbling the basketball, or you could be 7 foot and being able to have the ability to put the ball on the ground and dribble the ball. So the game was evolving before our eyes, and I just like tapped into this niche of, hey, everybody has a different niche. There's pitching coach, strength and conditioning coach, speed coach, weight loss coach. And I looked at the game and I was like, there's not no dribbling coach. There's nobody specifically, here to make your handles better. Then I made it a brand and a nice lifestyle, and I niched it off, and I started helping the kids, and the kids gave me the attention from the athletes, because the athletes was looking at the kids like, this is nice, but I need this in my game. And they started to hire me to specifically help adjust their handles. Chris Paul was one of my first clients that, broke his hand when he was with the Clippers, and hired me 8 years ago to help get his dribbling skills back, because that's important to his game to contribute to his team. So, I helped him like develop his skill to get it back. And I just was niching, like building a niche, not even knowing that's like the right things to do to build a brand. I just had a feeling that I wanted to focus on one thing and be great at one thing. And then everybody around the world, I wanted them to know or hear about me. So I started like really building social media, focusing on content that can help, another person on the other side looking in with a basketball. And every piece of content, I imagine me being in the gym and seeing a video from me. Like, what do I want to hear? What do I want to learn? Like, hey, here goes 3 dribbling moves you can do right now, like working on your game. If I see that, I'm like, I got a basketball in my hand, I'm in the gym, I'm going to tap into that. And that's how I kind of like popped off, where people just sharing all of my moves, all of my challenges, all of my like viral content. They started just getting sticky to it. And that's how the following came along very early, in the early stages of Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And for people who don't necessarily know a lot about NBA like coaching, is it common to sort of like design your own or tailor your own niche?
It's not super common, because most time that basketball coaches, they kind of like focus on everything, or they market that they focus on everything. I can help players with every skill on the basketball court, but what I market is handles, one specific thing. But once they come in and they commit to the program, they start to see that my philosophy helps them with more than just ball handling. It helps them with their whole game, and they start to see their game evolve and change. But most commonly, the coaches, they really focus on all skills in basketball. And my goal is to be able to live with all, types of people in basketball, players, coaches, and trainers. So with the coaches, I don't conflict a lot with different, coaches and personalities, because if you're doing everything, okay, I just focus on the handles. This is what I'm, good at. Me and you could collab. We can have a player where you do all the drills with him to help them get better in basketball, and I could just focus on the handles. And, or I can come in and say, a player says, I want to focus on my handles, and then ends up like seeing that we can help them with more different skills, and they say, hey, I want you to do the whole thing. So I kind of like just try to be in my own lane and focus on the niche that I'm, that I created with the culture. And I try to focus on that and try to be the best at that, with being able to provide multiple skills to help with development.
Mm-hmm. And you bring up handles. Handles is also kind of like an off-brand that you have as well, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, Handle Life. I'm wearing a t-shirt today, and I came up with that when I when I was in Oklahoma, and I was in playing pro, and I got hurt, and I came back from Mexico with stress fractures, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at the time. And all I did was focus on my handles, because when I was hurt, they said the only thing I can do is stay stationary without moving and work on my skills. So I focused on that, and I mastered like dribbling two basketballs, like staying stationary. And then, I was working at Nike at the same time, going through the training, listening to the marketing, really listen to the story of, Bill Bowerman and how he got Nike started. And I got inspired by him, where he was just a track athlete that came up with a basketball, a track shoe that helped the athletes improve, their track time. So I was like, man, why not? Why can't I do that? Why can't I be a basketball athlete that helps, other people's handles improve? And one day I can develop a technology or product that can help that. So, I didn't want to know what I want to do with my life. All I could do was focus on handles because I was hurt, and I put it together, and I told myself I'll put 2 feet into God first. And I'm gonna handle life, like, meaning like I work on my handle, and this is what I'm gonna do with my life. And I like put it together. And Dribble2Much was kind of like the Jordan, and Handle Life was like the Nike. And I was pushing the Handle Life brand as, the top brand, and Dribble2Much is just the character or the ambassador for Handle Life.
You talk a lot. You seem very like purpose driven. And everything seems to like you seem to have a like solution based kind of mentality is what I'm sensing. How important is purpose in all of this for you?
It's very important. Purpose is very important because that's what drives you. That's what wakes you up every day. That's what pushes you to do it when, it's not going to be monetary, or it's not going to be money involved. And it's just going to be something that's like get you up and get you over the edge and push you in those times that, you feel like you don't know what you're doing this for. And then you always go back and grab the purpose. So, my purpose is to be in the life of basketball, from generations to generations. I want to work so hard that Handle Life becomes essential to basketball, and that's through training products and training content. So content could be videos and, workouts or programs, or it could be music and motivational music, inspirational music. And then the products is like my heavy basketball is one of the lead products that we started focusing on. And that basketball has been, to the NBA finals within the first year that I've developed it. And it's just a training tool to help my athletes get better, still kind of have that mindset of Bill Bowerman coming up with the waffle sneaker, which was called Blue Ribbons from Nike. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have a product that actually goes with what I'm trying to teach, which is dribbling skills. So now if you go to handlelife.com, you'll see, my product is used by the top NBA athletes in the world, and they use it to prepare for games now with it. And I still have the same mission, same goal, is to just live in the life of basketball and get the most influential people to share the story of Handle Life, helping them with their game and on and off the court.
And is the intersectionality between basketball and hip hop, is that common, or are you like one of the few artists who are like morphing this sort of like formula together?
Well, I'm starting to see it's getting more common. J. Cole making the basketball pro team. And, he's an artist, but showing, his health side of being able to lock in and focus on something that he always like was passionate about. You see Drake building a full facility in his house and starting a whole league. That's one of my clients. I work with him a lot on helping his basketball game, but he's an artist, but he's really dived into basketball. And I just feel like basketball music just goes together because it's so culture driven. It's like, so, it's art, it's style. It's, you see people, pulling up with headbands, arm sleeves. You can see people, they might wear one long sock, or, they might have wristbands, and it's almost just like, all these basketball players have their different personalities and characters. And it's the same thing with music. You might see a rapper with a bunch of chains on. You might see somebody with a polo backpack, like it's different, artists and characters in this game of basketball. And you just kind of like got to create your own character and ride with it.
Mm-hmm. You kind of just brought me back to like the early 2000s with like jersey dresses and the
Yeah.
sweatbands and like the all whites and yeah.
Yep.
So I definitely feel that. Um, okay, so you are currently working on an album, right?
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I got an album. I don't know the name of it yet, but I got singles and I got all the songs done. We released Crazy in the Park. Rest in peace to PL 12 Beats. He passed away before I got to put it out. Um, we released Coach Rapping. We released Swish, Dribble2Much. We got a lot of different songs we released throughout the year, but now we're gonna put some of these other songs that nobody ever heard of and put it in the package for an album for like my second official album. So most of my songs are licensed on NBA 2K, so kids hear them all around the world. So that's like the advantage that we have when it comes to in our niche and on one of the biggest platforms like NBA 2K to be able to share our music, and our songs is really catchy, so it helps promote our music back on the back end. And the
Mhm.
album is going to be like 10 songs. It's going to be all new songs. It has a really good positive vibe. This album, I'm really like I'm getting a little bit more like grimy, I would say, like on records, like not grimy, but showing ultimate confidence, because I just know, what I did. My first album was good, but now my second album, I'm doing it in my own studio. I'm able to take my time, and really speak about what I know about the game to be able to share to athletes around the world.
Love it, love it. Um, oh, can you tell us about are there any visuals coming with your
Yeah,
singles
we got
album?
Coach Rapping music video that dropped. It's on youtube.com/handle life. You can see most of my music videos or my training videos on there. Coach Rapping drop. We got Crazy in the Parks about to drop. We got all of these music videos that's in the line of works. A lot of content's gonna start hitting back to back. The fans been asking for music back to back, and it's been years they've been waiting on for me to put out some stuff, and I just been taking my time because my first body of work, it just was so good in my opinion. It just lasted, and it's continuing to spin and like have a lot of listens and a lot of ears. But I know the fans want something new, so that's what I got to deliver.
Hmm. And it's Crazy in the Park. Does it kind of deliver like that confidence and like does it have like a intense or sort of like vibrant energy?
Yeah,
I asked that because of the title.
yeah, Crazy in the Park. It has like it's real grit. It's more meaning like I'm more confident in how I'm saying things on the mic, or how I'm making people believe me even more, because I'm speaking straight from the heart, and I'm really using my voice and my passion to be able to explain what goes on in that park when you in that park balling, whether you're in your 2K or you just at the park after school, or you after work, you going to the park, like you got to go crazy there. It's like showtime, it's game time. All the skills and development that you've been working on, all the shots you've been putting on by yourself, now it's time to do it with the show. And on NBA 2K, they got a park mode in the game where everybody meets up in this community. They come with their built characters and they meet up at the park to play. And you could run the court and stay on the court, and everybody be waiting to play you, and all the attention be on you on that one court, just like in real life. So what I mean, going crazy at the park is really winning games, staying on, being able to like know how you're gonna win games and continue to being like the best team out there when you're at the park.
Okay. And then as an entrepreneur and multi-hyphenate, do you plan on adding any additional hyphens under your belt or to your career portfolio?
Well, um sorry. Okay. Additional hyphens. I mean,
Mhm.
as an entrepreneur, my goal is to build like a products and a subscription based business that can help colleges, athletes, NBA teams, and also middle school and high school teams. And I want to deliver content and training, tools and training content that can help them improve as a team and as an individual. So, as an entrepreneur, that's something that I'm chasing, and working hard every day to create residual income, to be able, as an entrepreneur, it's like residual income with feeding the people what they need, becoming a resource to the basketball community. And I don't mind if that takes time, and trials and tribulation to be able to do that. So that's my goal as an entrepreneur, is just becoming an efficient, affordable resource to the basketball community and help them achieve their goals, while I be a part of that process, and they could come give back to Handle Life. So that's the goal as an entrepreneur. Any other things that I want to do is like, it literally, if I want to be a chef today, I could do it. It's just like, I have the ultimate faith in God, and from where I came from, and every idea that I manifest, I start to see it develop. So nowadays I'm a little bit more careful what I tap into, because I know that's like a power that I have. Like, if I manifest it, I dive into it and it happens. So I want to be really laser focused on what I feel like God is calling me for. So as an entrepreneur, I just want to be the best basketball, content and products person that delivers in the culture,
And how do you keep that focus and discipline for yourself as a coach and also as a hip-hop artist?
Oh, it's the hardest thing to do, just to keep that discipline, because at the end of the day, I always want to be a coach that's in shape, that be able to like explain with demonstration versus just sitting down and telling the player what to do. Because I believe nowadays these kids want to see you be able to do it instead of talk about it. Because everything is visual now. They could, if you can't do it, they'll find somebody on the internet that could do it. And now that kind of like X's you out as a coach. So staying in shape, being able to go to the gym and work out and build on my body, and being able to get on the court and still do these moves and teach other young coaches and entrepreneurs coming up on how to build a business and how to move on the court correctly for kids and players to respect what you do as a business is like how I stay disciplined, because it's a lot that I have to do to make residual income to be able to like support my family. So
Right.
if I don't stay disciplined, it's on me. It's like, if you don't stay disciplined, then you ain't trying to eat. So it's like something that I battle every day, because you could get a head start and close a couple of good deals and train a couple of top players that take care of you. Then if you don't have those habits that keep you grounded and keep you focused on making residual income and multiple streams of revenue, it's kind of like, I see it all the time. People here today and they gone tomorrow. They on top now, but tomorrow they nowhere to be seen. So me knowing that that's like a possibility, I really try to lock in on the discipline that separate me from everybody else.
Right. Discipline is very important, especially in your profession.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was such a great interview, and I really enjoy getting to know about your work, and I'm excited for you as a music artist and also as you continue on as a coach. There you have it, guys. Thank you for joining us, Dribble2Much, and myself, Tatiana.
Let's do it. Thank you guys for having me.
Anytime.
You are watching SOHH.com.